Okay, I was told an amazingly silly, goofy, funny joke yesterday, and I'm gonna tell it to you today. It is, what do cannibals eat to freshen their breath? Anybody know? Mentos. Anyway, Talos, thank you so much for that silly dad joke. I totally love it. It's totally funny. Anyway, hey, it's Jamie Allen Bishop here with Soul Heart Entertainment for ToesDay. Today is January 12th, 2021, and we are going to talk all about faith and trust toes. The faith and trust toes, if you're just hopping on, definitely make a comment below so I can acknowledge you. The faith and trust toe is our baby toe on our left foot traditionally. So it shows up the way that we feel inside about faith and trust. One of the things that I want to show you, hey Cindy Rose, so glad you're here. Yay, you joined live, how exciting. Super cool. Okay, so one of the things that I want to show you is this map, and I have all of these maps, all the toe maps and various and assorted things in the files folder under the Soul Heart Entertainment page. So if you want to, download this or look at it directly, go ahead. Hi, hun. Thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing this on the various and assorted pages. Oh, hey, Susie. Yay, you're here too. Oh, this is exciting. Super cool. Yay. My people are here. Okay, so we're talking today about faith and trust toes. And I just wanted to point out on this map, the way that our chakras show up on the foot, and then how that affects our lumbar. Because the faith and trust toe, which is our baby toe on our left foot, have a tendency to hide themselves. They have a tendency to fall underneath the toes around them. They have a tendency to fall over on their side. They sometimes have small nails, those kind of things happen with the baby toes. They can also get callousing. There's so many things that can make the baby toe, feel less than, if that's the right way to put it. So I want to show you how it might physically manifest in your body other than on your toes, okay? So if we take the baby toe and we take it straight across, it's gonna show up right there as the back curves down. So that's typically between your shoulder blades. So if you're somebody who gets a lot of pain between your shoulder blades and maybe a little bit down below your shoulder blades, that's gonna be something that shows up as something that's challenging your faith and trust in life. It also could be your prosperity and abundance, because obviously this toe map isn't specific to a left foot or a right foot. It just shows up there. So to me, when we're talking about faith and trust, we're also talking about prosperity and abundance. If we don't have faith and trust, prosperity and abundance is fleeting, if it even shows up in our lives. So that, obviously, for obvious reasons, I feel really strongly that the faith and trust needs to be something that we work on fairly regularly. Thank you for the hearts. So I also want to show you what chakras the prosperity and abundance and the faith and trust show up as. So we're talking about the root chakra on the outside of the toe and the sacral chakra on the inside of the toe. And when I say the difference between inside and outside, the outside is if it's pointing outside of you. The inside is if it's on the, I think it's medial side of the bones or the tissue. Okay, so it's on the inside. The inside stuff is all about our past. The outside stuff is all about our future. So if you have a baby toe, I'm going to show you a baby toe where the toenail itself bends over, kind of points to the side. I know I have it here somewhere. Shoot. Okay. And if you guys have any questions, definitely be sure to ask the questions. There was a very specific picture I was looking at earlier, and I'm having trouble finding it. So I will improvise with something that is different from that picture as soon as I find it. Okay, so here we go. So if you look at these toes right here, and I'm getting notifications, I forgot to turn off my, turn my privacy tab on. But if you look at the left foot here, this toe, the baby toe here, the faith and trust toe on this person is bent, is kind of, well, first of all, it's bubbling up. So we'll talk a little bit about how that bubbling up of that skin, what that means. And then it's obviously turned over to the side so that the nail, okay, so if my finger represents that baby toe, it's definitely turned that way. Do you see that, you guys? Give me some thumbs up if you see that. Okay, what that means in the grand scheme of this person's feet is that while they may have prosperity and abundance show up for them, it's not necessary. That looks like a right foot. My camera is reversed toward me, so it looks backwards to you. So I know that it looks wonky. I know. I'm trying to figure out how to manage that. So if you have any ideas, give me your ideas on how to manage that. But it truly is right foot and left foot. It's just because the camera is reversed to me. So I've written on here backwards. So the writing looks correct, but I know it looks like the feet are flipped. But you'll just have to have faith in me, trust in me, that this is indeed the left foot. But so we're talking about how this baby toe shows up where the toenail is pointed out, okay? So if the toenails represent the vision that we have for ourselves involving whatever that toe means. So on the big toe, it's about our big picture. On our pointer finger toe, it's about communication and creativity. On our middle finger toe, or our middle toe, it's about action and something else that's escaping me. On the ring finger toe, it's about our relationships in life. And then on our baby toes, it's about faith and trust and prosperity and abundance, okay? So if we have toenails that are small, what we're talking about is that the vision for faith and trust or prosperity and abundance might be small, okay? I think of it as the window that we see, let's say a cruise ship, okay? Let's say you're on a cruise ship and you're imagining what that dashboard looks like to the captain. It's wide open to the point where we can almost see the entire 180 degrees of area around us if we're the captain on that cruise ship. Somebody with vision like that is going to have really big toenails. They're going to have really wide toenails. They might have very deep toenails. The depth of the toenail, or when I talk about wide, I'm talking about from side to side. When I'm talking about depth, I'm talking about the length, okay? The wider the toenail, the more of a visionary person this is. The deeper the toenail, the deeper the vision, or how it affects the human race as a population, okay? So how it affects really that person's soul and therefore all of the souls that they are connected to. Does that make sense? So how the baby toes toenail shows up, that makes a big difference to how to go about either gaining more faith and trust and therefore prosperity and abundance, or to, you know, kind of rein in the vision being overwhelming to follow or whatever. You know, it depends on the toe, obviously. But for this person, what's happening here is that they show up, their baby toe on this side shows up pretty straightforward. You can see most of that baby toe nail. And then on this side, you have a toenail that doesn't show up very well. And in fact, it's kind of bent over. The other thing that I noticed that I'll mention is that there's a little kind of, that bone on this side is more prominent than the bone on this side, right? Now, sometimes that's just the way the picture has been taken. But in this particular case, I know that it's not. I know that this person feels a much bigger responsibility for herself than for the people and places outside of her, right? So that responsibility, it's, okay, so I'm gonna show you another map to illustrate what I'm getting at. So where the toes, you can see kind of in the hologram of the body where the feet show up as far as what that looks like. So you can see that where the toes meet the feet is the shoulder area, right? So let's just say you were having really bad shoulder pain. Probably in conjunction with shoulder pain, you might also have eye pain and ear pain and this, like the sinuses, kind of just like straight that band right across your face, because one of the things that it does is that's the shoulder of responsibility. It tightens up and then it pulls everything from up above into like this space of clenched, you know, kind of, if you clench your butt cheeks, you can definitely feel it after a while, right? It's the same thing with this band of sinuses and eyesight and hearing, and even sometimes in the speaking part, because it gets to that throat and chakra. Yeah, by the way, Susie, all the maps are in the files folder under the Soul Heart Entertainment page. So if you would like to reference them, they're all there. So on this toe and that shoulder of responsibility, we know that this is somebody who takes on a lot of responsibility, but feels extremely responsible for herself, okay? She feels very responsible for herself. The bunion, which I'm seeing on this foot, but it's not quite as, you can't really see it extremely well because she has them right next to each other, right? She has the feet right next to each other, so you can't see exactly how it shoots off, but I can, because I know what I'm looking for and I know what I'm looking at. But that bunion piece right there that makes that toe shoot off to the side is also about that shoulder of responsibility. This side of the foot is about future responsibility. This side of the foot is about past responsibility. So one of the things that the bunion represents, even though it has nothing, well, it does have something to do with faith and trust, right? Because everything is connected. But the thing about the bunion is that it's past responsibility that they haven't forgiven themselves for holding on to, meaning holding grudges against parents or loved ones in whatever way that shows up. There's a lot of healing work, there's a lot of forgiveness work to be done around the bunion. Okay, and an interesting side note, when I was in class for my initial certification in toe reading, and by the way, there were 4 levels, we had a podiatrist in the class, and she was taking this class because there was a 70% success rate, and she was horrified that her practice at a 70% success rate was a higher percentage of success than most other podiatrists, and definitely a higher percentage than other podiatrists in the area. And to her, that wasn't good enough. She didn't want to be the best at only a 70% success rate. So she came to this class out of almost like desperation, right? Just to try to figure out what it is that could make her have that much more of a success rate. Well, what ended up happening is she learned some of this stuff. She started talking to her clients about their thoughts, feelings, and emotions, giving them some homework about how to go about doing some forgiveness work, getting to the heart of how they felt about themselves, because ultimately all of this stuff is about our self-approval and our self-worth and how we value ourselves in this world. And she went from a 70% success rate. This is in 2 years of me going through the courses. I haven't checked in on her. I've been doing this 14 years. I really should, because I'm sure that it's maintained 95% success rate. That's how important getting to the brain side of what's going on with the dis-ease in our bodies. That's how important it is. It's so huge, right? We have got to, in this Western medicine that's so amazing and so brilliant in its efforts to fix things, we have to marry it with that Eastern philosophy of where it's getting tied up in our mind. Where is our mind controlling that piece of the puzzle? Because if we don't get to that mind space, that disease is always going to come back, whether we've had surgery or not. So you have to clear that mind space. So that's why toe reading is so exciting, because we can physically see where it shows up in the toes. How cool is that? Okay, so one of the ways that I want to show you about so on Instagram, I think it was, I posted a thing, how do you tell if your partner is gonna cheat on you or something? Like, what? Can you tell that in the toes? Yes, you can. So what you're looking at is both the communication toe and the faith and trust toe. So if we look at communication toes, and you know what, I'm just going to use the same ones because I want to show how it shows up for the same person, okay? So this communication toe, this is the right toe, okay? So the right toe it shows up that way as, first of all, her nail is longer than her toe bed. That's going to be somebody who's a little bit caught in their head around. They probably are overanalyzing everything. So if you're an overanalyzer, make sure you keep your toenails trimmed so that they're below the surface of your padding, right? I know it sounds totally crazy, but now that you know that, start noticing that when you trim your nails back, you feel way less squirrely about the way that your thoughts are showing up in the world, and you feel way less pulled from one project to the next Like it's crazy. It's so bizarre, but it works. So give it a try and let me know how it works for you. But anyway, so she's showing up with a nail that's a little bit longer, and this is the communication toe. And it's a nice long toe. It's kind of hidden underneath that big toe. So I'm wondering what kind of big projects she has in mind that would serve this world so beautifully, but she's keeping them to herself because she's too afraid to communicate that with the world or with the people that she surrounds herself with, right? So that's the first thing. Then I look over here at that relationship toe. Do you see the relationship toe on that right side is completely hidden underneath the action toe? Okay, it looks like it's trying to get away from the light almost, right? So there's some darkness happening in this relationship. There's avoiding the truth. There's avoiding taking action. Maybe she feels like there's something that needs to happen in this relationship that she's a little bit afraid to take that action, take that next step in order to solve the problem that she knows is there. And then when we go to look at, see how that relationship toe on the right foot, which is her external self foot, and then we go to the faith and trust toe, which is on the left foot, She feels like she's giving more faith and trust than she's receiving. But the reality is she's giving more than she's willing to receive. So one of the things that I would sit with this person and work on is, where can she communicate more about what her wants, desires, and needs are, and then allow that to be met, be open and willing to receive all that is good. It's not easy. It's not easy to do that, especially if you're in a state of feeling like you're giving more than you're getting. It's very hard to go there. But here's the thing that I want to show you. There were some male toes over here that I wanted to show you that show that this is not, God bless him, this is not necessarily somebody that you can trust. So if I'm gonna hold up the right and left, because even though I know it's reversed, that is truly how it shows up. Okay, so this is the left foot, this is the right foot. Both of his baby toes are hiding underneath those relationship toes. And the relationship toes are hiding under the action toes. So anytime that you have hiding toes, what are we hiding, right? Where is it that we're hiding things that we don't want to face in the relationship? When the toes show up as really hooked down to the earth, which these are, I don't know if you can see that because they're up in the air instead of flat on the ground. So it's not quite as obvious in these toes, but these toes are very fluffy with padding and they're curved. They have that kind of hook curve to the ground. What ends up happening is that you have somebody who's holding on for dear life and not necessarily showing up in the kindest, most genuine way for himself and or for his partner. So I would definitely caution that significant other to pay attention to behavior, because actions speak louder than words, right? But here's how it looks when you can trust the person, okay? This is somebody who is steadfast and true, very loyal. You can see that because the toe comes straight off the foot. And then within the straight off the foot, there's not a whole lot of curving down to the earth, okay? There is a little bit of, I think of the woe is me. I think of it's the victim syndrome. There's a little bit of that feeling of that she's giving more than she's getting. But the good news is that each of her toes has a little bit of a space between it. So she's super, super organized. She's hyper focused on what she wants to achieve in the world. And with these big toes being wide open to the information that is coming in and always finding her, she is going to be somebody who has all of the tools necessary to get ahead and to achieve the goals that she sets for herself. So, where are we with everybody? Does anybody have questions? Oh, Susie, you have a comment here. Let's see. That's a cool map. Oh, was that? Yeah, both of these maps are pretty cool. I'm not sure which one you meant, but that's okay. They're both cool. And then I think I'll be scheduling a toe reading soon. Oh, yes. Yeah, I know. Yeah, right? It's it's so fun. Toe readings are super exciting because one of the things when we're trying to grow spiritually, and this year is 2021, is a 5-year. 5 is the number for change. It's the number for fun. It's the number for basically doing all the things that have been being put on hold, right? So this year is a great year to really get down to the nitty gritty and have fun with it. Have fun with the transformation that's happening in the world. Have fun with, and when we don't have fun, we can get in that really deep, dark, depressive state. And you want to avoid that when it comes to change. When it comes to change, we really have to be in a space of lightheartedness and airiness. And if you're not feeling that way, go to the earth, go to Mother Earth. She will help you feel more grounded. She will help you feel safe. If you can't find grass, go find sand, go find clay. Even if you have to get it from the gardening center and bring it home and stick your feet in it. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's something called earthing. And earthing is the most amazing thing in the whole wide world. So when we're in a state of transformation and things are, transformation is not easy. Change is not easy. We humans have a tendency to want to keep ourselves really safe and really closed down and really, comfortable in our own little bubble. Snow, sure, why not? Stick your feet in the snow if that's what works for you. Just be careful not to be there too long, right? Oh my gosh. But yes, I mean, truly, there are so many different ways. Really, probably the best way for you, Cindy Rose, is to get into the bathtub. If you have a bathtub at home that you can use, even if it's just to soak your feet, just allow your body to kind of interact and have that downtime, have that peace time. Put a little bit of essential oil, that your favorite smell, and any kind of Epsom salts, of course, are going to suck any kind of toxins going on. And our feet, along with our head, we wash our hair fairly regularly, right? But a lot of us forget to wash our feet. And I know, right? Cold. But our feet are really, really important to wash and important to get to a state of neutrality, because A, we're on our feet a lot, and B, because that's where all the nerve endings find their way to. Our hands, our feet, and our head are the primary places for the nerve endings to have their final resting place in our body, right? Not that there's a final resting place in our body, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. They come off of the center of us and they come out to the extremities. And in our extremities is where we can get congested there the easiest. So make sure you're washing your feet, that you're pampering your feet. I know that it's a big thing that I always kind of end these with, which is just take care of your soul. Please take care of your soul. It's so important to baby your feet, treat your feet the way you want to be treated, basically. If there's a luxury bath, some sort of, lovely smelling lotion that you can just hold your feet and care for them and okay, you don't have to kiss them, but all right, you guys. If there's no more questions, we'll wrap this up. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that, Susie. I can't wait to see your toes. Let's do a toe reading. That'd be super fun. If you have no more questions, I'm going to wrap it up. I hope you guys have a fabulous evening. Happy ToesDay to you, and have a really, really great rest of your week. Let me know how I can be of service. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye for now.